breath of green. Beneath the sun now, sickly and unseen. The oceans turn to dust, the skies to rusted gray. The cradle of our life has crumbled and decayed. No harvest left to reap upon this barren soil. Just ghosts of ancient forest and the harvest they spoil. The only prayer we crafted was of steel and fire, to build our great arks, to lift us ever higher. A fleet against the void, a desperate vaulted dream, to catch a dying ember, save the last surviving gleam. The ground shook with our haste, the clock a tyrant's hand. No time to make it perfect, just to build what we planned. So we ride the stellar tide in the arcs of dawn. The voyage of Exodus, our hope is won. Through the silent endless night we carry on, to the promise of a world where we belong. Ignitions roar, a symphony of light and dread. A billion teardrops fell as from the earth we fled. We watch some falter, break against the blackest veil. The song of hope was lost within a storm of solar hail. Their light snuffed out our hearts forever, scarred by cost. But to turn back is ashes, and all forward motion's lost. We mourn in zero-G with rationed air and tears, then face the first dark specters of our deepest fears. A fracture in the whole, a system's failing chime. We fight with tools and courage, bought with borrowed time. The deep sleep calls to some to let the next ones wake, to steer this fragile flotilla for the future's sake. And we ride the stellar tide in the arcs of dawn. The voyage of Exodus, our hope is worn, not gone. Through the chilling ever void we carry on, to the promise of a future where we stretch out like shadows, cold and vast and deep. The generators falter and the children cease to weep. They know only the metal walls and recycled breath. They trade the tales of promised worlds for lessons of our death. The map seemed blank and mocking, navigation lights grow dim. The final spark of purpose on a fragile fading whim. Then a chime, a spectral shift to blue and gold. A star that holds the planet in its ancient gentle hold. Probes scream back with data, air and seas and land. A marble in the darkness made by some forgotten hand. A cry goes through the fleet to shock a vibrant pain, to reach the myth we chased across the stellar domain. Now we ride the final tide in the Arks of dawn. The voyage of Exodus, our oath fulfilled and drawn. Through the breaking morning sky we carry on to the living, breathing world where we belong. The landing fires paint the new sun's grace upon the mountains of this alien place. We step on soil that is not death but sacred birth, the first true step of man upon an alien earth.